Well, like everybody else, you and I are very enamored by Splatoon Raiders.
It's great.
It's so great. And we want to talk about how this really became like the feel-good game of summer 2026, because that's what it is.
Yeah, a couple days
amazing.
after it came out, people started to notice this phenomenon of the Metacritic user score.
Yeah.
Not the critic score being really, really high. And
Yes.
that number, I think it started at like a 9 and then it just started to tick up. And it went up to a 9.3. I think as of today, it's at a 9.2.
Wow.
Which makes it one of the highest user scores ever.
Yes.
One of Nintendo's highest user score games, certainly the highest for Nintendo Switch 2. And we hear all the time about this terrible thing of review bombing and people taking out their frustrations through these user reviews. And this is,
like the opposite.
we don't have a term for that.
Review praising. Review boosting.
Rabuya?
Rabooying.
It's Rabuya is what we're going to call it. But this is the opposite of that. And it's like, wow, what a refreshing change of pace.
Just like this game.
To not have people be angry about a video game, to actually be playing and loving a video game.
Just like this game
Wow.
has
It's
intended all along. It's happening.
Yes, it's great.
It is great.
So we kind of want to look at maybe a couple reasons
Yeah.
of how this happened and how this is becoming this great new hit for Nintendo and for the Switch 2. And I think we got a couple thoughts on that.
Yeah.
I think the first is like this is the rare case of the marketing kind of under-promising and over-delivering on what the actual experience is.
Yeah.
So for the whole run-up, hey, this is not a full-price game. And I think we both had a little bit of our guard up of like,
Why not?
there's going to be some sort of a
What's the catch?
there's going to be a catch where for some reason it's not going to feel as fleshed out or as big or as robust as we want. It's like, is this just one of those DLC, expansions, and we're just calling it a full game? And it's like, no, we've been playing it. It's like, my gosh, there's so much there.
Very full.
There's a lot of post-game content. I would be shocked if Nintendo did not support this with some updates.
And this is very Splatoon for them to do, is update stuff.
Whatever that next Nintendo Direct is, that's going to be in my predictions. Some
for
sort
sure.
of big update for Splatoon Raiders. So
Yeah.
I think that's certainly part of it. And then the other part of what Nintendo was doing, positioning it as a single-player game, it is that, but there's also this huge multiplayer component, which is like, we've been playing it. It's like super fun and super
Really
great.
fun. What's interesting about this is that it's not like we didn't know about the game. It wasn't like
We knew a lot.
They didn't market it at all,
Yeah.
which is what they've sometimes have done in
Yeah.
the past, which is not great, where you don't know what to expect, and then the game comes out and you're just like, okay, this is the game. And whether or not that game is great or not great, you're finding out when it comes out. That was not the case with this game. Like, they did a lot of stuff to tell us about what this game is. It was featured in a standalone direct. It was in another Nintendo direct.
Title Direct.
Had its own, yes, it had its own title direct. It had its own sort of reveal.
Treehouse Live, you name it.
Treehouse,
You name it. Yeah.
the marketing. And we were just at San Diego Comic-Con where they had a
They were
huge
pushing it.
Splatoon presence. And like even like a bunch of ads that were like, this IGN, San Diego Comic-Con live show is sponsored by Splatoon Raiders. So they were marketing this game. But the way they were marketing it was interesting. Because you're right, they sort of like left out some key things, whether it was on purpose or because they talked themselves into some kind of reason. It kind of worked in their favor because we kind of went into it, and so many people that, were not as plugged in as you and I are to like every bit of Nintendo news. Like, we have a friend that bought this game and was like, I didn't even know that there was multiplayer in this game. I bought this because I was excited about a single-player Splatoon experience. So he was very pleasantly surprised by that. And I think you're right. I think what's really great about this game is that there was some suspicion of how robust this game was going to be. And that is not a problem with this game. This game is so full of stuff,
yes,
so deep, and I mean, I feel like I'm barely scratching the surface of what I'm doing here, and I'm already like 8 hours into this game. It's like amazing how they were able to do that.
And these days, a lot of that thrill of discovery or feeling like you're getting more than you thought you were. It's like it's really hard.
Really hard to do that.
It's hard to do that.
Yeah.
And like this is hard, actually super hard to execute on. But this is a game where it feels like they did just that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Another, you may have heard this term friend slop being tossed around.
Yeah.
And
it sounds derogatory, but actually it's not.
Yeah, it sounds like, oh, this game is slop, this game's bad. But it's kind of an emerging new genre of like low stakes games that are really about getting people together and hanging out and being a social first experience. And I wouldn't say that this game is friend slop, but I think it has some friend slop tendencies and
elements.
It is just a really good game for getting a group of people together and hanging out and spending a couple hours together. And I think this is actually really important for Nintendo and other console companies to get on their systems, because it has been mostly a
PC-based thing.
Phenomenon. Most of those games are PC games.
Yeah.
And I think this is an important part of where games are going and where they even are now that is really good to have on consoles too.
Yeah. It all started with this thing of, video games is now the new playground. It started with Fortnite and Minecraft, where it's like, well, we want to play these games, but we're actually going to these virtual spaces to hang out.
I can't leave my house. It's a pandemic. We're all hanging out in Fortnite. It's kind of the origin of this whole thing. And then we had more and more games that were built around that
idea. And yes, I agree that this is not a specific, it wasn't a game built for that specific friend slop genre, but it has some of the check boxes of it's kind of low stakes, that when you're playing together, you can play and hang out.
Yeah, there is downtime. There are peaks of action, but there's also a lot of downtime in between where you can just hang out or
chat
talk about things.
Talk about stuff. Yeah.
Also, for Nintendo, this game is a great showpiece for game chat.
Oh yeah.
That's how we've been playing. I think that is a really ideal way. And it's so interesting because it's we've seen them try to make game chat be appealing through things like the Star Fox faces and things like that.
It's no, but you just want
There's no gimmick. It just needs to match the experience.
You don't need a gimmick for this. You just need something that functions as a multiplayer, game where you need to talk to somebody.
Yes.
And that's exactly what we've been doing. We've been playing this game a lot online, co-op. Using game chat.
I pressed the C button. My C button was getting crusty and dusty, and I finally pressed it and brought it back to life.
Mashed that
Boom.
C button.
Yes.
He also taught me how to change my layout so that I can see the game.
Can't believe you didn't know that.
I've never touched that C button in my life. Let me tell you, I don't do this, so I don't even know.
Right.
But I mean, it's a great showpiece for that, and you know what? The biggest praise that you can give it is that it works.
Yeah, it's seamless.
It's very
seamless. It works
seamless.
great. Yes.
And that's what you need.
Right. It feels like it's integrated into the system. It's integrated very well into the game. It's this is actually essential for getting the most out of the experience.
When we play, we don't have disconnects.
Never had a disconnect.
We were on the game chat the whole time, very easily.
I don't need to go to the shareholders meeting and shake my fist about the disconnects in Splatoon Raiders.
We don't need to be tapping your foot or anything.
No.
It's great.
Going into this game, it felt like this was a game that truly had a purpose, which was Nintendo acting on this belief, and they probably had a lot of data backing up this belief,
for sure.
that the traditional Splatoon experience is intimidating for some amount of people.
A lot of people.
The competitive multiplayer being the core focus is just something that a lot of people are going to be hesitant to completely jump in on, and that's why they went all the way to hey, play by yourself. You don't even have to play with anybody.
Talk about the co-op mode at
just
all.
Just play it by yourself.
They were so focused on about separating this particular Splatoon experience from the traditional Splatoon multiplayer experience.
So that insight, they are justified of having that insight because we've heard from a ton of people,
myself included,
in our community and outside of it as well. I was that guy. I was that person who was afraid to get into this. So there's that angle, and then it's such a easy on-ramp into this game and to start playing and to start having fun and to feel like you are progressing.
Right.
Not every game can do that.
Exactly. So many people, myself included, I really kind of avoid competitive, any Splatoon games because I already feel behind. You already feel like you're at a disadvantage going into any Splatoon game. You're like, well, I don't know which weapons and tactics. And
The meta. What's the current meta?
Yeah. I don't know any of this stuff. But this one, you don't have those sort of hurdles that you're jumping through in your mind. It's not a full price game like we talked about, so your barrier entry just got a little lower.
Yep.
It's a game that you can play by yourself and tinker around and just figure it out by yourself. Then lowers that even more.
Yeah.
And then if you do need help because it's hard or whatever, you can call a friend to help you. You can.
That's true.
You have an option.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good
like,
feature.
Hey, you know what? Somebody can come help me, or I can put it on easy mode, or whatever. Like there's so many ways for you to feel like you can give it a shot now without like the embarrassment of like. So I'm in a group of people and I'm the one that gets the lowest score. Like, that's so sad.
It's very forgiving for newer players or first-time Splatoon players, because even if you are kind of butting your head against a raid and not completing it, you're probably still leveling up.
Exactly. Collecting something.
Yeah, and it's like, I feel like I'm on the road to overcoming this challenge, which is fun, versus like, you just lost, try again, with like, try again from scratch.
Yeah.
Which is the experience of some other games.
Right.
So I think it's just a lot more forgiving.
It has like that roguelike quality a little bit.
Right.
Where it's like, okay, I lost, but I feel like I've gained at least some experience, some items, something that can improve myself for next time, to do better next time.
Right. This next one is interesting. I think we've all found ourselves playing a game and just getting a little bored and like looking at your phone. Like this happens to me a lot during cutscenes, where it's like, can we get on with it here?
I don't do that as much, but you're like the poster child for this.
We have heard so much over the past year. It's like, okay, TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts has rotted our brains, and this is actually the final boss of all forms of entertainment. Books, game, forget it. It's all over. We're all just going to be staring at TikToks in a year. And this is the antidote to that. This is made for the people whose attention spans have been fried by that kind of thing.
If you're a fruit fly and you have a less than 2 second attention span. Yes. Play this game, because you basically can finish a mission. We were doing missions last night, and I kept saying, okay, just one more. And you were like, we have
time for a lot more.
You keep saying this, but you see the runtime of these missions. It was like a minute long.
It's like 90 seconds.
It's not even it didn't even crack like the 2 minute mark. We were finishing missions in like less than like 2 minutes. And so within that hour that, you could play like 20 of these.
The loop is so good at keeping you locked into what you're doing, because you go on the raid, you go back to the boat, you're tweaking, you're actively trying to enhance what you have got, and then you're back out there.
Looking at some new weapons.
Yeah, and then you're back out there and you're doing it all again. So it's very, like this, a lot of people describe this as a very addictive game, and I think this is why. It's there is never any naturally appearing point where it's like, okay, now it's time for me to put this down. It's like, well, I might as well just keep going. It'll only be 2 minutes.
2 more minutes.
It's only another 2 minutes, and then it's 3 a.m.
This is just like the TikTok culture.
It is.
Because you're like, I'll just watch one more 1 minute TikTok. I'll just watch one more 1 minute TikTok.
There's also, there's a little bit at the start of the game. We don't have those tedious cutscenes that drive me crazy and take forever.
There's a little bit
at the beginning. There's hardly any load times. Like, the game is very forgiving. Like, that animation of you getting thrown, it's like you can just button out of that.
That animation's like 10 seconds long.
You can skip it. I skip it. And then the load time is like, okay, here we go. It's like, wow. There is no time for you to take a break.
That's what they use the power of the Switch 2 to do.
Yes.
Not to enhance the graphics. Yeah. The graphics look fine.
It looks good, but yeah.
But they did it to
for other things.
Maximize the enemies on the screen and to maximize your low times.
So I think you could look at this one way and be like, oh, great, now we have to like lowest common denominator video games to compete with stupid TikToks. It's like, no, I think this is actually just like a different approach to making a game.
This is a different kind of game.
Right.
Doesn't mean not every single game has to be like this.
Not every game has to be this.
Yeah.
And I don't want every game to be this.
No, I don't either.
But I do think this is especially made to combat that phenomenon that I do believe is a problem for a lot of people with console video games.
I think so too. Like, not a lot of people can play a 90-hour RPG. That's just not going to work for some people.
Right.
So this is a way to get them into the ecosystem.
Yeah. And then lastly, I think there's just some like kumbaya feel good like points to it. Like we
have vibes.
We have all been bombarded with terrible news about video games for like the past several months, and it's nice to have one that is kind of like light and breezy in tone, like easy to pick up. Everybody's having a good. It's social. It's like, yeah, this is a great representation. This could be the avatar of what we all love about video games and kind of aspire for video games to be. And of course, it's Nintendo who is giving that to us.
Of course,
the rest of the industry just kind of melts down.
Yeah, Nintendo's definitely like exploiting it to a degree, which is fine.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they're delivering an experience that people want to have.
Right. So that's kind of an intangible thing. And then also, like we've talked for years about how like Splatoon games are perfect for summer.
It's a summer game,
and
they know that.
When we were at Nintendo, we would often hear from NCL about like, we strategically time these games to release at certain times of the year.
Absolutely.
To match up with seasons or holidays. And like, hey, we did this and we saw this huge spike. Mm-hmm. And that's not something we always saw in America. It was kind of a more, outside of like Black Friday, it was more of an even-keeled kind of market.
But it's like, no, this particular type of game just works for this
like,
summer vibe phenomenon.
And it's like, I don't know, we're going from July into August, we're getting into those dog days of summer. Like, some people don't have a lot to do. It's like, why not kick back and just
you also
grind out this game?
You're like, school's going to start or whatever in a couple weeks. This is kind of my last chance to have time to hang out with my friends and play this video game, to stay up late in the long summer days. Like, it just works.
So these are intangibles. They're hard to really pin down, but I do think they play a factor with all these other things into this bigger phenomenon.
Yeah.
So kind of as we wrap up, like I do think it's worth asking, like, there is this discrepancy between the user score and the official review score. Like, I
mean, the review score is not low. It's an 82.
It's a good score. It's a good score. But like, what do you ascribe to that discrepancy?
I feel like it's a lot of the previous like expectations of what the Splatoon franchise should deliver, and this is a very different experience from that. So I think that's part of the reason why. And I also do think like quote friend slop games just do not get those higher critic scores because they are seen as a more light and breezy experience that don't have a lot of depth. I would argue that this game actually has a lot of depth.
But on paper, you would not be like, well, that's the most ambitious game I've ever seen. It's like, very it's a pretty self-contained thing, but within that structure, there's a lot to it.
To praise about it.
I think also, like, we saw this a lot when we were there and like, setting these things up, like, getting people pre-release to experience multiplayer is really hard logistically.
Servers
to me. Like sometimes it's like, hey, we need the day one patch. We can't do it.
Yeah, you need people to be online.
It's hard to wrangle people to play
you.
together. So again, like obviously you don't have to have multiplayer for this, but it is.
But you're missing a part of the experience.
It is a cool part of the experience. Yeah. So I do wonder, like, to what degree did these people get to experience that?
Yeah.
And then also, like, in a few weeks back, we were just looking at the history of Splatoon Metacritic scores. They're all lower than you'd think.
They're all a lot. Some of them are in the 70s. I was really surprised.
Focused around this low 80s, high 70s. So this is actually right in line with what this series gets, which maybe is a bigger discussion.
Yeah, I think this is the kind of series that just is seen as something that is not, like, artistically pushing the boundaries of the art form of video games. It's a very sort of like it's this like kind of breezy multiplayer experience. It's taken as a more casual game, I feel like. And that just might be the challenge.
Don't tell Splatoon fans that.
Well, they don't.
Casual.
Who cares?
Casual.
Who cares about these scores?
Casual.
Play the game and love it. Who cares?
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Who cares? Woo me.
Woo me indeed.
Woo me indeed.
Yes.
All right. That's what we think about Splatoon Raiders. What a great, wonderful thing it is to have a summer vibes game to play.
Great.
What a wonderful thing it is. So hopefully you guys are all enjoying the game as much as we are. We're going to wrap up this video and we'll see you later. Bye. Bye.
Check 1, check 2, are you there in Splatville? It's me, big man, here to give you a thrill. Shiver and fry, ain't got nothing on me. I'm the one, the only greatest fish in the sea. You know how we do here in the deep cut. I might seem calm, but